Mm-hmm.
How harder or better does it make it for preparation going in fresh, late?
Obviously, they're a very talented team, so it might make it a little harder. But same preparation for any game, any team. You go through the same steps, process, watch film, go over each individual player, figure out how you want to guard them individually and as a group. But yeah, because they have so many threats, it might make it a little tougher. But we'll see.
You've seen Kawhi at this time of year, being in San Antonio. Can you
Mm-hmm.
explain how you get sort of locked in, like he seems to be at the big moments in the postseason?
Obviously, he has a big weight on his shoulders to do a lot for us on both ends of the floor. And, he, just as many others and everybody else in the team, has to be locked this playoff time. We want to continue to keep winning and keep playing and be last team standing. So we all have to be locked in. Not just him, but he said obviously he has a heavier load to carry. And, we're going to need him offensively to not just score, but, make the right plays because obviously teams are throwing different things at him. But defensively as well, we have different, especially this matchup we have coming up. Everybody down the line is very, good. So there's a lot of threats, and we're all going to have to, be in our A game defensively. It's going to be a lot different defensive game than when we played in Orlando. Not saying that Orlando is not good, but it's just different. Different matchups, different lineups, different personnel. So we have to adapt and adjust.
Are you guys reaching a level of? I think you played 160 minutes as starters,
Mm-hmm.
160 minutes together in the regular season, and almost 100 minutes in those 5 playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much do you feel that cohesion on either of those to come together?
Within each day, we feel a little bit more comfortable with each other. I think knowing our spots, knowing where each other going to be, and just communicating, figuring it out, offensively and defensively. Obviously, we have a lot of great, talented players, but they also have a pretty good IQ, so we can, talk to each other and say, hey, Mark will be like, he makes it easy. Obviously Kawhi is making it easier. Kalo makes it easy. Those guys are really good. Pascal, make it easy. But it's easy to just tell guys, this is what they're doing. This is where I need you to be. I'm gonna look for you over here. Or, would you like to be in this spot, or you want to be in this spot? And you just figure it out, and it's different per game, within each series, within each team that you face. So, we're going to figure out game one is kind of a figure out, feel out game, but we'd definitely like to win with that figure out, feel out game.
Guys, with the amount of experience you're referencing, Pascal would be maybe the exception. How much difference does that make that you have nearly 40 years NBA experience among those 4 guys, and just to do exactly what you're talking about?
I think it's, it makes a big difference. And I think I take it for granted. Obviously, when I was in San Antonio, we had a group of guys together that were pretty experienced and a lot of veterans and that had been playing professionally for some time. And we had the same group that was put together, and had been together for about 3 or 4 years and be able to go back to back. So obviously, this group hasn't been together that long, but it feels like because of so much experience that we all kind of have, even though Pascal's a 30-year player, he knows the game very well. With all the experience we have and playing against each other for so many years, that cohesion has, I think happened a lot faster, and it feels like we've been together longer than we have. So hopefully it can continue. Hopefully we continue to grow and to get better, but win games in the process.
What are veteran ways to kind of manage your time in the playoffs and avoid burnout? Like, have you picked up things over the years, and you see it from the other guys about how to manage, especially these rest days in between?
For sure. Well, throughout the season, it's a lot less. I'm not saying you're not locked in. You definitely are locked in. But so many different teams, so much travel. But for me, I mean, it's different for each player. For me, I think once you get off the court, you kind of try to get away from basketball a little bit. In the playoffs, obviously, there's not as many teams playing, so you do watch some of the games. But you try to do different things to keep your mind fresh. But it's just such different for different guys. Last night I got the chance to see the Avengers movie, which was pretty fun and exciting. So I suggest you guys go see that. It's a great one. Worth every 3 hours. So things like that. Being with my dogs, being at home, my family, friends, etc. Just enjoying this time.
In terms of a player's preparation, how useful is your personal memories playing against, like Tobias Harris, or is it just without having played them in the context of the Sixers, does most of that go?
It's all helpful. I was said being in the league for some years and knowing these guys have been in the league for some years, playing some guys multiple times in the West Coast or playing multiple guys, sometimes like multiple times in the East Coast. These guys know some of them better than I would, and I know some of those guys better. So putting together a lot of these guys' tendencies, go a long way, and vice versa. I'm sure they're gonna do the same. A lot of those guys have played us for many years, and they Danny likes to do this, so watch out for that. Or Kawhi likes to do this, so it all comes into play, and figuring out how to guard certain people and hopefully helpful in the playoff series.
You and Jimmy have spent most of your careers in opposite conferences.
Mm-hmm.
You would have faced him a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that makes him such a tough cover?
He's a good player. Any good player is a tough cover. He's great at what he does. He's very crafty, smart, high IQ, athletic. When you're an athletic player that is high IQ, it makes you a tough cover. So they use the body well, knows how to get to rim. Very good with his pump fake. Very similar to D-Wade to me. But obviously he can shoot it really well too. So I'm not saying D-Wade can't, but Jimmy's had some pretty high percentages over some of the years behind the arc. Hopefully we keep that low this series.
Against Orlando, you didn't shoot the three as well as you did in the regular season.
Yeah.
More like what they were doing, or that something like off with your shot, and how can you get the percentages back up to regular season levels against the Sixers?
I didn't really notice. Didn't really care. We won. We were winning. Obviously, they were not letting me shoot as many shots as normal to get into our shooters, runners up the line. I think we did a great job of moving the ball and finding it. I don't think my shot is off or something's off with my shot. I take the ones that are open, hopefully make them. Sometimes you make them, sometimes you don't. Regardless, it's behind me. Think about the next shot. I think the next one's going in. I could care less about percentages at this point. Just want to win basketball games. Don't care as much about offense. If they're taking me out and they're guarding me, then I'm doing my job.